Good afternoon and welcome to Rick's Retirement Journey. Over the past few weeks or maybe a month or so, I've started to read off this list of turn off the television and 101 substitute activities. I've covered the first 30 already, and what I'd like to do is go on to the next 10, which will be from 31 all the way down to 40. So let's get started. Number 31, sing a favorite song. I sing while I'm driving. I sing while I'm cooking. I sing while I do laundry. I sing while I do yard work. I sing in the shower. Maybe sometimes, not really sure, but it really all depends. Sing a song. Sing your favorite song. Listen to the radio and sing along. So, do that instead of watching television. It sounds a little corny, but at the same time, hey, some people do it and some people don't. Just go ahead and sing your favorite song. Organize family photos in an album. Oh my gosh. We have so many photos, so many tubs of photos. I forgot who presented a video about this, about just sitting down and just taking some time and looking at videos or looking at photos and things like that. I think it may have been Buzz in Buzz's Retirement Garage, about just doing stuff. And I'd like to do that, but I know my wife and myself and other members of our family, we've got tons of photos that are already locked into our phones, that are on external hard drives, that are on hard drives on our laptops and computers. Plus we have, if I'm not mistaken, I think we still might have some film that needs to be developed. But if you have an opportunity, do something with your photos. I'm not saying you've got to sit there like all day long and just go through all your photos and things like that. But just maybe make a little bit of time and go through some photos and check out the memories and stuff like that. So I think that would be pretty good. Visit a local bookstore. I was in a local bookstore just the other day. I'll say it. It was Books A Million, Fredericksburg, Virginia. And pretty nice store. Great customer service, great atmosphere, great location, lots of restaurants and things like that. Usually when my wife and I go out to dinner down there, I always tell her, I'm going to stop by the bookstore real quick. She always shakes her head. She goes, whenever you go into a bookstore, it's never that quick. I can tell you a few more things about bookstores, but maybe I'll just save that for another video down the road. But hey, visit a local bookstore. It's almost as good as visiting a library, but if you want to take a book out, obviously you're going to have to purchase it. So, make crafts to give as gifts. If you're a crafty person, by all means, go ahead and do this. I'm not that much of a crafty person. I can make, big rocks into little rocks. I can make pieces of firewood into kindling, things like that. But those aren't really gifts. If you're one of those crafty people that like to do stuff like that, hey, by all means, go ahead and, do some crafts and, give them away as gifts. Hey, Christmas is how many shopping days away? I'll have to check on that. Make up a story and write it down. I used to do this when I was in elementary school. I used to do it when middle school, high school. As I've gotten older, I don't have to make up stories anymore because based on life experiences and things like that, I can just write down different stories from the past. But if you don't have stories, that you want to tell, make up a story. Find a prompt someplace. Go online, go to whichever search engine you use and just type in story prompt. Grab that story prompt and just run with it. But create a story and just go from there. I know Buzz had covered AI a few videos ago, quite a few videos ago. And you can always utilize AI to help you kind of develop it and things like that. But make sure you always go back and change some of it. You don't ever want anybody to ever accuse you of plagiarism or anything like that, or excuse me, that you used AI to create something. So here we go. Learn to say simple phrases in a few different languages. How timely. Here within the next few weeks, I will be going to a high school reunion. I'm not going to tell you which high school reunion I'm going to, but one of my classmates was actually a foreign exchange student from another country, and I was actually on the computer just the other day trying to learn how to say certain phrases in their language, like great to see you, hi, how are you, what are you doing nowadays, do you have any children, do you have any grandchildren, thank you so much for coming in to visit, etc. So learn a few phrases, and I think if you see someone that you may know that is from a foreign country, they may really appreciate it a lot. Like, yeah, I think they'll say something like, "Domo arigato." So you never know. Ask an older family member to tell you a story about his or her childhood, and then write about it. This is kind of a tough one. As we get older, we lose family members, and I would say that for some of us right now, that if our parents are no longer with us, it's kind of difficult to ask those specific questions. I would hope that we would have asked those questions while they were still with us, and I know my wife and I did. I know my sister and my brother and other family members did, of our older family members. But that's something that if you have asked those questions, you may want to write them down and just keep them for future reference. I actually told that to a friend of mine the other day, that he should write down his stories, so that because he's got young grandchildren. My grandchildren are older. He has young grandchildren, and he's about the same age as I am. I told him, hey, bud, write down those stories, so that once we're no longer here, they'll still know you. They'll still remember you, and they'll be able to pass on those stories to somebody else. So yeah, if you have an opportunity, and for those that may be watching that are younger than some of us retirees, by all means, start asking those questions now, and don't wait. Don't wait. Ask them, write it down, and save it for the future. Next one. No, this one's not happening. I am not playing hopscotch with friends. I don't think any of my friends would play hopscotch. We're all a little bit older. We're all a little bit more frail. Yeah, some of us are in better shape than others, but at the same time, we are not going to be playing hopscotch. We may watch other people play hopscotch. We may watch our grandchildren play hopscotch, but no, I am not playing hopscotch. I will watch. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. Bake 2 batches of cookies, one for your family and one for your neighbor. Got to be real careful with this one right here, because you never know whether your neighbors have allergies or not. But if you're friendly with your neighbors, you could always bring it up in casual conversation and say, hey, by the way, what kind of cookies do you like? And if they say, this and that, says, well, you don't have any allergies, do you? With different types of cookies, because some people do have allergies. Peanuts, apple, whatever the case may be. So, hey, you get an opportunity, make some cookies. Make 2 batches and, share them with your neighbors. Or, better yet, share some with your grandchildren. I'm quite sure they will like those a lot. And the last one for today, watch the night sky through binoculars, identify the different constellations, and observe the moon. This is also pretty timely. And again, going back to Buzz's retirement garage, he just happened to mention that July 20th was the 56th anniversary of the moon landing. And, binoculars, break them out, go out at night. Try to get away from some of the light pollution that may be out there. And if you don't know what light pollution is, that's from artificial light that comes on at nighttime for parking lots, shopping malls, and things like that. If you can get away from the area and find a really, really dark, safe spot to go out there and observe the stars, and get yourself a book from the library. Visit that local bookstore, and just see if you can find some constellations that are out there. Share it with your family. Share it with your husband, your wife, maybe your children, maybe your grandchildren. I think they would be somewhat amazed if you were able to point up to the sky and say, "Hey, you see that up there? That's Alpha Centauri. That's not a constellation, but you know what I'm saying." But yeah, you could do that as well. No, really. I think that was the last one for this list right now. So let me set that down to the side. Not a whole heck of a lot is going on. I know that Buzz and Steve and there's a lady named Evie, and I just picked up on a few new YouTubers out there that are pretty interesting. And again, I happen to mention Buzz's Retirement Garage because he comes up with some really good stuff. And I try to attend his lives on Wednesday and Saturday, and he usually gets a lot of participation in there, and it's usually some pretty good conversation. But a while back, he came up with a list of some of the people that he follows, and I've kind of jumped on over to some of their channels to see what they do out there. There's a lot of good information. Of course, with all information, you need to take it with a grain of salt and go from there. I know yesterday's live at Buzz's Garage, there was a lot of discussion about finances and things like that. But when we those that are retired start looking at a lot of things like that, we've been around for a little while. We should take everything with a grain of salt, do our own research, and just continue to move forward. Yeah, life overall is going pretty good. The summer, today is the 24th of July. High school reunion time coming up really soon, and I'm really looking forward to it. But no, life is good. I have no complaints, no health issues, no financial issues. Got to work on my car just a little bit, but that's pretty minor. Did a little bit of yard work this week. I did have a video on that. Buzz commented on that, saying he got tired just looking at that. It doesn't show me cutting the grass. It just showed the grass that I cut. But it does look a whole heck of a lot better. But no, life is good. I hope all is going well for each and every one of you out there, wherever you may be. Stay well, stay safe, hydrate, and until next time, or until then, like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and yeah, leave some comments. I will definitely answer your comments. This has become more and more part of my retired life, and kind of my BDR. I did a video on BDR, Basic Daily Routine. So, go ahead and check that out. But until next time, take care. Hope to you follow again later on down the road. And until then, Rick out. Here we go.